All right, topic number 2. Do people still want marriage?
I don't think as much as they did back in the day. I feel like more people just prone to like have a life, just a life partner, live with somebody, or just be with somebody for 20 something years without being married. I don't feel like a lot of people want to get married. I feel like, especially nowadays, because people been married. Like for me, I got married when I was young. I was married at 19, 20 years old. Do I want to get married again? Maybe. But I feel like these times and the people that you date nowadays, everybody's not on the same page with the marriage thing. I feel like that percentage just went down over the years.
I just think like people need to stop getting married for the sake of getting married. Like both parties gotta actually want it. Like the girl can't be like, yo, you've been with me mad years, hurry up and marry me. Because if he just do it because you keep bothering him, it ain't gonna last.
That's a fact.
So, you wasting your time. You shouldn't get married for kids because somebody pregnant. You shouldn't get married because of pressures of parents and, because some like Haitian parents don't play that. If you having a child, nah, put a ring on it. Them shotgun weddings and all that, people need to stop all of that. Like, you should only get married because both parties want to get married. So do I feel people still want to get married? Not like they used to. But I guess it ain't for everybody, and everybody shouldn't do it.
You see, this is my problem.
It's
not for everybody in our community. In other communities, it is perfectly acceptable to find a life partner and marry them and make sure that they're secure and well off. It is a problem in our communities that when we want marriage, or that marriage, I don't want to say it's forced, but it's expected. It's always a problem. If you don't think that you should get married just because of a kid, why are you having unprotected sex? We have been conditioned over the years to accept the fact that we are not going to get married. We're okay to just have babies here and there and do what we want, or just have a life partner and just be okay with just living, when there's so much benefits to the family unit that we need in our communities. And we need to speak about it more. There's such a big agenda for Black marriages not to happen. We started to decline back in the 70s, early 70s, our marriage rates. And we don't realize we're the product of the systematic breakdown of the family unit. We need marriage. I don't care who wants it or don't want it. We need more Black marriage. You need more Black strengthened families. But I feel like if you're not...
we may need it.
But you can have a couple in the house, but they ain't got to be married.
Well, they need to be, because, let me tell you something. As time goes on and people start to die, people can start to get sick, or kids need certain things. There's certain rights that everyone won't have as a domestic partnership or as somebody living together. It's a way to set up your legacy and make sure your family is good to go, that there's no argument over at that funeral home. Who's going to pay for what? Who's going to get what? Who got to deal with these leftover bills? There's a lot of things that are into play. Who's going to take care of these kids? Where if you don't have wills, you don't have marriages, and you don't have somebody who's speaking up for you, who knows what your wishes are, things get messed up in the long run. And that's how our legacy ends and get all muddled and confused. We have been conditioned to be like, oh, it's okay that we don't get married, that I just go live my life and not commit myself to nobody. Me personally, I have never been married. And I've had a long-term relationship, and I left that relationship because he didn't want to get married. I want to get married,
And that's what you should have done. But think about it like this. What if he got married to you because you wanted to and he didn't? How that wouldn't last.
It would not last. And that's why I agree, it wouldn't last. And that's why the best decision was for us to separate, because I don't want no one to be with me and feeling like they was in a shotgun wedding, and that because I wanted and did it to make me happy, that relationship is going to fail anyway. I want someone who has the same values of a family unit as I do. That's my main objective. It's not that I'm saying that more or less people want to get married. My argument is that we need to think about this more as a people. Our issues run way deeper than police brutality or mass incarceration. Our issues are deep-seated in our daily habits and what we believe. And I feel like in order to fix a lot of us, I know it's a whole nother road, but I feel like it starts with the family unit.
we've been targeted since the 70s. With like
absolutely.
you
Gotta remember.
We're getting rid of, and like you said, in the 70s, we're getting rid of the warehouses in the communities where people used to like be able to feed a whole family and hold the house down. They got rid of the warehouses. Then they got, in the 80s, they started bringing crack and cocaine and
talk about welfare. How they took the black man out of the home.
Yeah, so we
homes affordable for the white.
Like,
and now the black woman, we so strong, we stronger than our man. We don't even need you. Look, we got our own cribs. We taking care of our own babies. It's a plan.
We all fell for the okey doke, including the black women.
Don't say the black woman like all of them is doing that. There's a whole bunch of them that's in there with a bunch of babies still living in the project, not taking care of shit.
No.
We're not gonna do that.
I'm gonna be real with you. My argument is not for anybody else. All I can talk about is my black experience. So I can argue on behalf of all women right now. Black women, we need to get our lives together, our legacies together, our men together. We need to get together. So I'm not saying that's all just us. No. But it was designed for us. And that's a fact.
But isn't the whole
together though, not separately?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
But isn't the whole purpose of the relationship?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, good. But isn't the whole purpose of being in a relationship, isn't it about a partnership? So why does marriage define love? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like, why does that define it?
It doesn't define love at all. I just think two people, like, I think on your first couple of dates, even before you go on a date, you should figure out if that's what you want in your life. You should figure out, like, yo, do you see yourself wanting to get married? And if the person say no, then
keep it moving.
Before you even take them out on a date or anything, you can move on.
Are you spiritually connected with this person? That's the thing. Like, before, when we start talking about our ancestors and we start talking about culture and things like that, we went through certain rituals. We went through we were spiritually connected with to me, like I used to tell Pat, the energy behind marriage right now in America, there's something wrong with it. For the fact that there's so many people that get a divorce, like you're signing paperwork. Your marriage is basically a business. It's not a spiritual connection under God anymore. So then when you bring all this paperwork and you bring all this other stuff into the mix, that adds another level of pressure. So you're not necessarily communion with this person under God. And then there's a lot of agendas behind marriage. There's a lot of people that get married just for the wedding, just so they can show off the wedding. Or there's a lot of people that just want the ring, or, you know what I'm saying, things, or just to say that they were married. But you're not really connecting with a person on a spiritual level. So 9 times out of 10, when you don't have some type of God, some type of energy, some type of being in the middle of your relationship, it's never going to work. So what attracted you to this person? What makes you compatible with this person? You know what I'm saying? Like, what holds the love together at the end of the day? And that's where I believe that we fall. We're not connected on that level. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I feel like the energy around marriage in America is just it's not gonna work unless you're like really, really, really connected on a spiritual level.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that sentiment, because whenever me and Cypher used to have this debate back and forth, I would tell him, like, of course there's going to be a lot of divorces. I mean, like I stated, people getting married because of kids. That's a fail. People getting married because of pressure from their spouse. That's a fail. People getting married for papers. There's a lot of that, and that's a fail. Yeah. And those all contribute to the divorce rates. So, you know, if there's 5 or 6 different reasons why people getting married besides actually wanting to be together forever, of course the rates are going to be high. So I don't really look into the divorce rates. Is just,
but that's my point, bro. It's not a spiritual connection of why people are doing it. That was my point from the whole beginning. That's the problem. You feel what I'm saying? It's the reason why you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's that's where we're falling short.
That's a fact. And I always say, and people always say it's crazy, I don't think people should get married for love, because love fades, love goes in and out. I feel like liking somebody is more important than loving somebody, because
Yeah, but
hold
and
on.
they always and they,
I feel like liking somebody is more important than loving somebody, because when you like, I've seen men and women cheat on their spouse, and they love them, and I believe them. But love is more of a time thing. You can, because you've been with somebody for so long, been loving with somebody for so long, you can love them, but you don't even really like them. There's family members that you love, but you don't like. So we have to start getting to the point where we like the person we're with, when you're not spending money, when you're not going to fancy dinners, when you're not, doing all the stuff that people like to do, when it's just you and that person and nothing's going on, the TV's off. Do y'all like each other? When people should get married, because
do y'all really like each other? Do you know the person that you're with?
Huh?
I said, yeah, just like you said, do you like the person?
A lot of
know who you're
people
with.
are in these relationships for what the person can do for them, so when that particular thing goes away, that's materialistic or sex or what's left behind. Like,
but I think a lot of people underestimate the fact that you can still have a healthy relationship without marriage, though. You know what I mean? Like I think sometimes, huh?
You can.
You
You can, right?
You can.
You can, right?
You can.
So
I've known people who've
like
been together for 20 years and get married, and then they divorced in a couple months.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know why they did that. Why they do it?
Because the pressures of being married. Oh, why don't y'all get married? And then you get the girlfriends in her ear. Huh?
I said a lot of people.
What you said?
A lot of people look at marriage.
Guy with his singular mobile.
There we go, man.
Yo, you need to reboot your Wi-Fi, God.
So, bro, you got wide die, because that shit keep dying.
Wide die.
You need to reboot.
Y'all got anything to say? Because we not listening to Wi-Fi guy. Y'all got anything to say, ladies?
I think I basically covered it all, pretty much. But definitely, I know when I got married, I'm talking for personal reasons. I got married so I could be around my kids 24/7. And that's definitely the wrong thing to do. Definitely the wrong thing to do. I love my kids, but they would have seen the arguments. They grow up seeing that. Their parents not really clicking. And like my parents, I moved back in with my parents, I was 23. When I moved back in, my parents sleeping in separate rooms. I've never seen that a day in my life since growing up. I've come back home, my parents in different rooms, bro. And it just comes to a point where I feel like people been together for so long, they get comfortable. And sometimes they don't know how to end it, or they just end up just dealing with it. So
that's a sad life, yo.
Yeah.
That's a sad life. Like I saw my grandfather and my grandmother argue to the day he died. Literally to the day he died. In the bed, can't move, can't walk, arguing. Yo, I'm not doing that.
I ain't even trying to laugh. That's crazy.
I'm not doing that, B. I'm there on your deathbed.
Wait.
But that's not everybody, though.
You have terminal cancer, B. Like you're on your deathbed. Like you're days away from dying, and you're still beefing. Like what the fuck?
But then my question is, what's your solution? So you're never gonna get married. Are you gonna stay with the same woman for the rest of your life?
Nah, it's not about not getting married. I definitely want to get married and I want to have children, B. But I'm not gonna sacrifice my happiness for it. I'm not gonna.
So my question is, what is your plan? Because this is my problem. Like I've never been married. I don't have kids, but I'm meeting men who got these hung up issues. Who's afraid?
You got to find somebody that you can spiritually connect with. You got to find somebody that you can pray with at the end of the day. When things are not going right, you feel what I'm saying? Like how many people in a relationship you see really pray with their spouse, meditate, do something spiritual with them. You feel what I'm saying? These are the type of things. I mean, I've never seen it growing up. I seen people go to church.
No, I did not. That was not the example growing up.
You know what I'm saying? But that again, that's not everybody's example. Like if you talk to multiple people, I can probably tell you that multiple people will tell you they've never seen that in their household.
But you got to remember, that goes back to the systematic plan. They wouldn't see that in the household when they started breaking down the Black family unit back in the late 60s, early 70s. So we wouldn't see it. So we don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. Even me, with my parents, who's been married, for over 40 years. And I could say I grew up with my mom and my dad. I got the best parents in the world, but I watched the unhealthy relationship. I watched a woman not be fully loved. I watched a man take advantage or live his life the way he wanted to and not appreciate a woman all the way. So although I had both parents, I didn't have the prime example of what I should see in a relationship. So we wouldn't see it. So then my question to you is, then what is your solution? How do you know when you connect on a soulmate level if you never seen it before? You don't have an example for it. How are you not going to continue to run? Because there's going to be a problem.
It's a connection. My connection with somebody has nothing to do with the other people in my life. At the end of the day.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Can I answer her direct question? Yeah. Oh, you seem a little clearer too. You went from
good now.
No, he's not. He's still scattered.
We're from cricket
to answer your question. How do you know when you find that connection? You just know. It's just different from every other connection that you've had in your lifetime. Even when you thought you was the most in love and the highest pinnacle of love, and you'll never find nobody better. When you find that right person, you do know. Like, I'm happy to say, like, on Sunday, I celebrate 10 years together, 6 years married. And
congratulations.
Dang.
Yeah, I went to high school with y'all two ladies, and y'all know my ex, and I thought, that was gonna be, the end or be all. But when you meet your real soulmate, it's like night and day. So to answer your question directly, when you meet that person, that's the only time you're gonna know, not before. Like when you get there, it's a different experience. It's a different level that you didn't even know existed. So
awesome.
I think we can end on that. I think we can end on that.
Yeah,
all right. Snap.
So, smooth Pat Teddy bear. We can end on that.
Oh, chill all that.